Good morning, honorable members. This is our second day of the meeting this week. Shall we start with our Lord's Prayer? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. As our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and the glory, now and forever. Amen. Honorable members, before we start, may I just make an announcement. I think people are looking more tent stop long grounds for parliament long Rapla side by IGAD launching long energy policy by the Minister for Mines, Energy and Petroleum when we suspend at around 12 noon. So, Minister, we all attend the launching. He's got a full program that he has prepared. I think the refreshments will be served, so you don't have to go out of the parliamentary precincts for lunch, lunch, and then we can resume at 2 p.m. We'll come back again. So, just talk sabe, reminding more members, please. You may attend the launching of the energy policy by the minister. Thank you. Bills, petitions, clerk Mogat petition, papers, any committee reports?
Mr. Speaker, I've received a report from the Portfolio Committee on Health and Education. It's a final inquiry report. The report has been published. It's in the notice paper. And Mr. Speaker, the report shall be considered under committee reports. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Clerk. Honorable members, by me go straight law statements. Before we do, President, I think you got 2+ statements. And then Minister Blong, post-referendum and independence implementation. Attorney General, he also has a statement. Because all this plus statement may be relating to the same issue of independence implementation. Emi gutla ating imi larim tupla making malo statement long all, one after the other, and then you can debate him all get a one time. So we've prepared a procedure for that. If I can call on the leader of government business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the whole process will take place and then the 3 statements will go at the same time and then we will have the debate at the later stage of the proceedings. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah. Okay, me just asking all members, indulgence for members, that you may walk him all same or make him statements, and then at the end of the last statement, you may start debating all display all statement. Honorable the President. Where legally past time? Honorable the President.
Mr. Speaker, as I rise within the chambers of this honorable House to present my ministerial statement on several important matters that concerns the government and the people of Bougainville. Before I proceed, I must make several acknowledgements that are of importance. From the national government, I welcome Honorable Manasseh Makiba on his first official visit to Bougainville as our Minister for Bougainville Affairs. I thank you for accepting my invitation to visit Bougainville and as for being the first ever Minister for Bougainville Affairs to attend a session of the Bougainville House of Representatives. I also extend this acknowledgement to the following leaders: Honorable Saki Saloma, Minister for Energy; Honorable Dr. Kobi Bamareo, Minister for Housing; Honorable Lohia Boy Samuel, Member for Mosby Northwest Open; Honorable Richard Masere, Member for Popondata Open; Honorable Dr. Billy Joseph, Member for Nipa Kotupu Open; Honorable William Bendo, Member for Koroba Lake Kopiako Open; Honorable David Aroe, Member for Chavi Open; Honorable Lucas Dekena, Member for Gumini Open. On behalf of my government and my people, I warmly welcome you all to the autonomous region of Bougainville. I look forward to meeting you and all, and I hope your brief time with us will allow you to gain a better insight of our people. Mr. Speaker, let me also welcome our new members of the Bougainville House of Representatives. Honorable Patrick Collis, Member for Haku, and Honorable Daimus Napto Kiso, Member for Nissan. Honorable Patrick Collis, you bring with you the experience from your work in the public service and development sector. Honorable Daimus Napto Kiso, you're a young leader chosen by your people to fulfill your father's legacy in leading the people of Nissan. Mr. Speaker, this year is very important year for the government and people of Bougainville as we prepare for the ratification of the 2019 Bougainville referendum result by the National Parliament of Papua New Guinea. The Bougainville Peace Agreement of 2001, Part 16 of the National Constitution is very clear on the parameters of this political process. Following a referendum, the two governments shall consult over the result of the referendum. We have consulted over the rest of 97.7% of Bougainville who want independence, and now we anticipate the national government's commitment to ratifying the results this year. There has been 3 post-referendum joint consultation between ABG and the national government. The consultation have yielded several positive outcomes. Key amongst them are the WABEC roadmap and the Era Connect Covenant, which have set a timeline for a political settlement not before 2025 or no later than 2027. To independence and set out the parameters that requires governments to fulfill to ensure the implementation of the Bougainville Peace Agreement. I expect the national government will honor these agreements and table the outcome of the consultation in the National Parliament this year ahead of the ratification, as it is constant with the terms of the WABEC roadmap that we jointly agreed to. The process of ratifying the Bougainville referendum result is currently being deliberated deliberated by the technical teams of both governments. According to the advice from the Solicitor General, the referendum is merely an endorsement of the results by the National Parliament. The technical teams must take this advice seriously and not waste time debating on systematic and legalities that are not consistent with the legal framework of the Bougainville Peace Agreement. This is an issue that is bound from history, conflict, and more importantly, the right of the people to self-determination. Mr. Speaker, in the meantime, internal preparations for our independence readiness mission must continue. Members of this Honorable House, I expect you all to institute changes within our communities by innovative means to improving the lives of our people through positive social economic developments. We have to see greater collaboration between the government and our community governments to mobilize our people and to inspire them to be industrious and hardworking. Mr. Speaker, I cannot deny that we have capacity issues in the ABG due to lack of funding and resources. However, this does not stop us from using what is within our means to achieve a tangible outcome. I believe that our capacity issues may limit and slow as progress, but that does not limit our overall potential for growth and development. We have a resilient people who are our greatest resource. It is time we put more trust in developing our capacity by empowering local businesses, supporting SMEs, and promoting education as a key factor in developing our minds and set our human resource. We have proved our resilience during times of hardships as a people. That same resilience must be felt through our leadership with empowering our people to be active in the development process on Bougainville. Mr. Speaker, in my last parliamentary address last year, I highlighted several economic development projects in the agriculture, forestry, mining industry, and the government is embarking on. These are projects that are focused on developing local economies and maximizing internal revenue for the government. Most of these projects are about 90% complete and should be operational within the year. Revenue generating from these projects will enable Bougainville to be fiscally self-reliant and promote empowerment opportunities for our people. These projects were delayed to ensure compliance, but they are well on their way to the production stage. Mr. Speaker, I want to point out that after forming the government in 2020, the overall internal revenue was around 25 million. Within a year and a half, we managed to double the ABG's internal revenue more than 50 million. This was from several small investments and government made when I assumed my presidency. With the projects I mentioned soon to go online, we are expected to raise even more revenue than the current internal revenue. Our financial projections show that Bougainville can count half of its own annual budget by 2025. As president, it is my intention to protect the rights of our people and our indigenous businesses. The first step in doing that is by investing into local companies who are committed and have initiative to support the government's efforts in developing Bougainville. In large-scale economic development, any investment that foreign direct investment must always be in a favor of our people. The benefit-sharing arrangement must also allow the people through the government to own up to 50% of the investment. The Bougainville Inward Investment Act serves as a guiding legislation to ensure investors and even our own people comply with the government's policies on foreign direct investment. Mr. Speaker, so many investors have shown interest in Bougainville, but we have a vetting process that everyone on them must comply with. Investors have shown keen interest in the agriculture, tourism, extractive industries. However, as I like to say, all roads lead to Panguna when it comes to discussing economic investment opportunities on Bougainville. Mr. Speaker, my government's current policy on Panguna is to let the landowners resolve their differences with minimal influence from outside. The government has been facilitating their negotiations, and one important point that the landowners mutually agree on is for a local-owned entity to develop the mine, should it reopen. At this crucial time, I want to warn so-called investors and landowners with vested interest to refrain from meddling in the hard work of this government and the Panguna landowners have put into the mining consultations. On this subject of Panguna, the Panguna Legacy Impact Assessment has been progressing very well. I have received very positive feedback from the local communities along the lower tailings area all up to the special mine lease areas. This assessment will enable the government to quantify the extent of the damage caused by the mine during its operations and even after its closure more than 30 years later. Mr. Speaker, the government is keen to deliver several high-impact projects in Bougainville this year. Our 2023 budget has allocated funds for these projects through the Restoration Development Grant and the Prime Minister's 100 million annual commitment to Bougainville. We will be building more roads, hospitals, schools, key projects that are already underway and will be carried out this year. Final phase of the sealing of the John Tersen Highway, continued upgrade and the maintenance of Kukul to Koisha Road to complete the Buga Ring Road as prepared for sealing, installation of desalination unit and micropower grid for the outer islands, construction of Pagara and Tavera bridges in Bana, construction of Kihili Teachers College, upgrade of Arawa Hospital to provincial level, upgrade of the Arawa School of Nursing, upgrade and maintenance of feeder roads in cocoa intensive areas in its region. The rationale behind this important infrastructure project is to enable social economic development that is homegrown. Emphasis is on creating local human resource, creating them with the empowerment and broadening the scope of economic opportunities on Bougainville through infrastructure development. All fundings from the national government are put into development projects. The ABGs operates only from the recurrent and our internal revenue. Mr. Speaker, Bougainville is still visible, solely reliant on funding from the national government, primarily the recurrent and restoration and development grants, which are constitutionally guaranteed grants for Bougainville. These grants do not arrive on time and often cause delays in the rollout of the development programs. But I do not blame the national government for the delays. I understand that the financial constraints of the national government is an ongoing truth, and I believe this is the motivation of the autonomous Bougainville government must use to raise more internal revenue to sustain ourselves instead of depending entirely on the national government. Mr. Speaker, this year I directed the Bougainville administration to focus on promoting and improving our economic growth and improve law and order throughout Bougainville. These two priorities must be taken seriously by the administration and our economic sector departments primarily the law and justice sector, the Department of Mining and Energy Resource, the Department of Economic Development, and the Department of Finance and Treasury. As I mentioned early this year during my address to the administration, we have to realize the law and order and economic growth are interrelated. Our economy cannot flourish without the stability brought out by enforcing law and order. This creates a conducive environment for the economy to grow. In the same manner, law and order can only be enforced effectively if there is an economic growth that yields revenue for the government to provide more funding to improve law and order. Mr. Speaker, I want to reassure the members of this honorable House and the Bougainville Police Service has begun its operations to clamp down on the current spike in lawlessness on Bougainville. There have been several developments in the last 2 months in the outstanding cases with the apprehension of certain persons of interest. The Kono conflict in South Bougainville is another yet that needs the attention of the government. We will have a special committee who are going to deal with the matter. Certain Bougainville leaders have chosen to ignore my government's attempt in resolving the Kono issue. If that is what they wish, then they will have exiled themselves from their own people. Mr. Speaker, in 2025, Papua New Guinea will celebrate its 50th year as an independent sovereign nation. It will also commence the 2-year frame of the Bougainville political settlement as indicated by the WABEC roadmap. As the country prepares to celebrate its Golden Jubilee, I must also consider Bougainville's long-standing aspirations of self-determination that even predates the country's independence. The 11th Parliament of Papua New Guinea, through the ratification, has opportunity and the privilege to resolve this matter once and for all. Mr. Speaker, in welcoming Minister Makiba and his fellow ministers and members of the national government to Bougainville, I thank the Prime Minister, Honorable James Marape, for his commitment to the government and the people of Bougainville. Despite our differences in opinions, we maintain cordial relations and we understand our positions in true Melanesian fashion. Conscience and resolves are clear. This government and our people will never compromise on anything short of political independence for Bougainville. History accepts to Bougainville demands for sovereignty, and it's rightfully ours to claim. God bless Bougainville and Papua New Guinea. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
We'll have AG make his statement now, the Honorable Attorney General.
Speaker, thank you long granting me opportunity. Long making this statement. Past time long and one kind may give him look sabe long President, Minister, Bougainville Affairs, Susati Stapontem Yumi, all Narpla ministers. Mix him this time too, Mr. Speaker, welcome him new member belong Haku na new member belong Nissan. They come with very different personalities. One pla also new member belong Haku. He's an experienced public servant who occupied the most senior position inside long administration blo Bougainville. Lo member blo Nissan, you mi sanapia na mi talk. You know got narbla example where you not blo behind him except probably. True mi bla sampla usati I serve one them late napto, mi blagat big plahamamas long yulo kami also member because probably you, despite being a person from another part of the province, region of Papua New Guinea, he's a Bougainvillian through lo marit, according to Mama Loblo Milong, lo Bougainville. So, member Blonisan, me welcome you, na me congratulate you also, mandated leader Blong Nisan. Me give him look sawe to Mr. Speaker along all national members society accompany him, Minister Makiba. Me give him look sawe to long all members Yumi long Bougainville, all national MPs, including the ministers Chamalili and Masiu if he's in. If not, me welcome him to member Blo Central. Now, Mr. Speaker, it's important that you may clear also this year, 2023, year of ratification. Law talk, you play Bougainville, you play conducting referendum finish. And now by God consultation na melo tupla government. Na tupla government niya only consult. Na in order to ratify all gata disla consultation one time referendum result. And Minister Makiba now and by Karim disla all okay go inside long. Lo National Parliament. Blow on him something. Blow ratify him. Mission Aptete lo make him clear. Also, Parliament, National Parliament is required to ratify. It's a referendum result, one time more consultations outcomes. Now, Mission Aptete because he got not a narrative that is being circulated. Also, National Parliament, he got veto power. With due respect, the National Parliament doesn't have any veto powers. So, Mr. Speaker, in order long understand him, lo you may come up long. Sorry, I don't intend to read word for word my ministerial statement. It's available. Bien you all member can look long and me by talk long all important features to solve statement. Now, in order to understand where we are now and where we intend to move forward, I mean, important to be aware of our historical things that happen in our history. Now, me make him clear also, lo you plus sampla to all member inside the house. Me make him clear also, Mr. Speaker, Bougainville was part of Solomon. Historically, you may have been part of Solomon. Na long 1886, all German colonizers, yeah, all make him deal. England one time Germany, all make him deal. No only talk, all right. You may by Burkim, this Laol Island, yeah. Bougainville, yeah. You all England by lookout him. In exchange for Samoa, I think. Yeah. In exchange for Samoa. Now, all Burkim now, and just by the stroke of the pen by colonizers, yeah. All Kirab no talk, all right, you all Bougainville now. You play by stop lookout England. Now you go on along 1918 now. Bougainville became part of that Australian Trust Territory underneath New Guinea. We never had a say. We played Bougainville, we never had a say. But we have resisted all along. This unilateral declaration belong colonizers. We have resisted up to today. Up to today. So, me like him, you make clear that this is a walk about Bougainville tete. I know something is start a solo crisis, Mr. Speaker. something I've been started before yet, even long time long all colonizers. Or leader man blomipla, also Momis, former president and regional member, our senior statesman. Emixi one pla chief blomipla lo hahalis long Tago cult line. And they went to the United Nations. No longer talking United Nations. Hey, based long right long mipla indigenous people. Mipla lo Bougainville like him independence. And they were told to leave the precincts of the United Nations. Because only talking you play part long Papua New Guinea. You play not right. Lo kirap na sing out long independence. Blow you play it. Bougainvilleans have always wanted to be separate, Mr. Speaker, from Papua New Guinea. This view can be seen as early as 1960s, when Bougainville leaders called for a secession referendum to be held by 1970. However, Bougainville was then included in the independent state of Papua New Guinea, despite the objections of the people of Bougainville on 16 September. Miplatulo Bougainville, apart from trying to solicit support through long legal avenues, Mipla declaring Tupla unilateral declaration of independence. We declared ourselves independent twice. In its long struggle for independence, Bougainville leaders have issued 2 universal declarations of independence. The first was on the 1st of September, 1975, to prevent being ruled by PNG, as Bougainvilleans claim that they were geographically apart and its people culturally distinct from Papua New Guinea. The Bougainvillean leaders at that time declared that it was a long-standing wish and aspiration of the people of Bougainville to become a separate, independent nation. Mr. Speaker, as we know, a settlement was reached in August 1976 on the basis of increased decentralization, and Bougainville was renamed North Solomon's Province in recognition of its geography and reabsorbed politically into PNG with increased self-governance powers, a model later replicated, and provincial government powers were given to other provinces. So, the 1st of September, 1975, MIPLA declared him independence. Unilateral declaration of independence. MIPLA declared him long, 1st of September, na Papua New Guinea independence long, 16th of September. In any case, Tupla government, people of Bougainville na people of Papua New Guinea through the elected representatives, all kirap no talk. All right, Larim. In order to answer some of your desire, lo kirap na ruling you played, by me signing this Bougainville agreement, lo 1976. So he got agreement where Bougainville na Papua New Guinea only sign him. Now this Bougainville agreement is intended for Bougainville lo assume him some leadership responsibility, lo how lo manage him people belong him. But lo and behold, this all power Bougainville been got here. Government ikirap gen na bring him organic law lo provincial government. Na time organic law lo provincial government come inside now. He absorb in Bougainville, he go to normal system. No more. It was no longer a unique and a special arrangement. Namelo Bougainville na Papua New Guinea. So Mipla crap na talk. Hey, also Mr. Speaker, you lo down in Belpen blo Mipla na sing out blo Mipla lo independence. You may come up in this agreement lo special arrangement. No, what you kira put in Mipla, all get I go inside the provincial government system. You know answering problem blo Mipla. You are treating us like everybody else. So, Mr. Speaker, Right now, bro, you may got a clear record, Lord, this crisis may come up. And in the height of this crisis, Mibla make him number 2 declaration below independence. Unilateral declaration of independence. Leader man below Mibla, Francis Ona, I mean right, lo Papua New Guinea government, lo 17th of May, na right lo United Nations, na right long all narpla international agency, na Tokimol, Mipla now lo Bougainville, we declare ourselves independent as of this date, the 17th of May. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm second UDI been come up now. I'm relaying this story. I'm relaying these facts so that you may clear also. Now you may sit down inside the display room. Lo display year where year of ratification. We cannot ignore what has happened in the past. Lo kirap na talk. Me by deal one time this government blo Bougainville. In this year, as a year of long ratification, in what is in front of me, Mr. Speaker, will be very unfortunate because at the end of the day, you must look context. Context is very important. Suppose you may not look context, Mr. Speaker. You may by extracting one word lo displahab, by me extracting one word lo displahab. Now you may argue him, now you may give him legal meaning blongen, or you may give him political meaning blongen, and we forget the context in which those agreements were signed and those words were used. So, Mr. Speaker, time second UDI only declare him. I'm low height of the crisis. Now, during in the course of the peace negotiations, Sampla leader man Mary Blo Bougainville only make him decision. Only talk. Passing Blo fight one time gun, na killing one planar plan. I mean, not resolving this problem. You may Papua New Guinea, Bougainville, you may must sit down, na negotiating this peace. We will not, at the end of the day, whatever happens, but unnecessary lives have been lost. And leaders inside the Bougainville all argue all yet too. Certain leaders said, we will go and negotiate this peace with Papua New Guinea. All not probably talk. You like go negotiate him on him, you may declare him independence finish. Law 17th of May. No, this leader only strong. Lo walk about the peace process, yeah. One problem only sit down. President Toroma and one problem line he talk, enough of the fighting. One time late Kabui. Or talk, we will go and negotiate this peace. And other leaders were angry. We remind them, you may also time negotiation blow peace been on. Na time peace agreement been signed. The killing was still going on. Gani Pairapi. One of the purpose blow peace agreement is to stop the guns from firing. Now give opportunity lo man marina pikini lo live in peace. We remind him talk misa make him all at the time. You got member along National Parliament you start, where you blow Southern Highlands. Me kill him Southern Highlands. Southern Highlands killing me. Tari too die. Tolai too die. Mandang too die. Papua too die. We all died in this crisis. That's why our leader man tete, at that time, all talk enough now. Enough now. And leaders from the national government at that time Me like him, you me clear lo head long. They were negotiating, lo stop him gun na killing at that time. We cannot today sit back and say, oh, they decided at that time. Those were circumstances beyond our control today. No, God, me insist yet, also in the mindset and the context that they were in at the time, you may must try to look sabelong. Because to divorce what had happened, to divorce that peace agreement, and then decide what is the next steps, lo this la relationship, lo Bougainville na Papua New Guinea, in isolation, Mr. Speaker, would be a total disservice. Now, me talk past yet, it will not have the outcome that it deserves if we decide to give the ultimate decision in the absence of what had transpired in the past. Now, peace agreement there. All leader man Mary sign him now. All sign him law 2001. Na inside long peace agreement, me plan not like him more provincial government because me plan got special arrangement. Bougainville agreement. Na me plan feel him with some government. Me backstabbing me plan. So instead of that special arrangement being unique to Bougainville, we got absorbed into the organic law system. That's why time Mipla signed in peace agreement, Mipla make him clear on national government. You may not have signed him nothing agreement. We want another special arrangement. And now no autonomous Bougainville government come up. Mipla writing mama law long autonomous Bougainville government. Tete you may stop inside long this law autonomous arrangement. Lo bien made like blong leader man or agreement where leader man marry blo Bougainville. Now leader man marry blong Papua New Guinea. Mr. Speaker, all this work and where we are today, no mipla Bougainville kirap na talk, mipla like making this like something nothing na. Working this place something nothing na. We don't care what the national government says. No, God. We are proceeding according to agreed processes where two government agree long. Now, Mr. Speaker, long 2004, we've been adopting this la mama law. Now, long 2005, this la autonomous Bougainville government now been start. Now, mipla samplay stop yet since this la day of 2005. Also, me one time member of Gogohe, vice president, but he got little time. Mipla been losing na go make him narpa something. But it suffices to say that Bougainville government, autonomous government, is started in 2005 in Update. Now, suppose you may look long peace agreement, Mr. Speaker, he got triple hand long this peace agreement. I mean, talk long weapons disposal. I mean, talk long referendum. All these issues are contained in the peace agreement. Even before government start long 2005, there was a requirement for weapons disposal. So UN come inside, now supervising this weapons disposal. Now good governance. And when they ticked off on these issues, and now people are holding first election, law 2005. So I know something also people kirap na make him nothing na inogat international supervision. So this autonomous government, as it is, Mr. Speaker, is a legitimate government, and it was only able to exist because we had satisfied not only certain conditions that had been imposed by the PNG government, but certain conditions that are internationally imposed also some good governance and all these issues here. It was good governance according to international standards. You know, good governance according to Bougainville standard, or you know, good governance according to PNG standards. No, God. In the case of good governance, there was a requirement that it must be good governance according to international accepted standards. Now, Mr. Speaker, one important part also me talk, lo peace agreement and lo referendum. Na inside long referendum, tupla government before long referendum, he got bipartisan committee lo national government, and we been round long tok lo man mary lo responsibility long all, tok long all issues long make sure this referendum is free and fair. Initially, Chairman Powi, Governor of the Southern Islands, he been chairing this committee. Later on, I think he had some issues. Now, regional member of the at the time, Joe Lera, he come up chairman of this committee. Bisanap na tok because me too, Olixi me too, you member of this bipartisan committee. So mi pla round lo Bougainville, mi pla round lo kata hab lo Papua New Guinea. Lo tok sawe lo man Mary, long this process that was in front of us. Now, big pla hab mi like tok longen lo referendum e molsem. Aninit long peace agreement, na aninit long part 14, aninit long all mama law. Law demanding, Mr. Speaker, law demanding also tupla government. Only must sit down. Now talk long all options by going inside long referendum choice. Relevant legislations, Mr. Speaker, are explicit. I mean, talk you tupla government can agree lo kind option. Whatever it is. But one of the options must be independence. You must put him option below independence and one plan. Then you like him 4, 5, 6, 55, 99, how much? You yet. Itu belah government agree. But one of the options must be independence. You got requirement too. Lo time to plug government. Time only look lo options. Only must make sure all options here not can confuse him man Mary. And that's the basis, that's the reason to plug government kiram na ito, alright, we limit it to 2. Now, because one of the options must be independence. What is the other option? Now, what you mean put in plan the option, I mean, Pauli man Mary. So the other option was greater autonomy. Mr. Speaker, tupla government all sit down. Now only talk. Okay, these are options here. Tupla options here, by me define him. Now put him lo ballot paper lo referendum. Hurry up through. National government kiram na ito. You by defining greater autonomy. Now, me lo national government, me by defining independence. So this definition long independence and me stop inside long referendum ballot paper. It's a definition provided by the national government. The point I'm making is people of Bougainville only vote 97.7%. Lo display independence where you yet national government. You been defining below MIPLA. MIPLA agree one time definition below you. Na MIPLA vote. Lo this la option. Since, Mr. Speaker, since the referendum result has come out, and over the many months since the referendum, me woklo harim option, third option. Dr. third option now it come up. Is there a third option that we should give to Parliament, or Parliament, National Parliament in Aplo offering. Yumi ol Bougainville, yumi tingol sa menem. Misan up tate olsem Attorney General na Minister of Independence Mission Implementation. Now we make him clear lo this house. There are no third options. No one. Man Mary, Pikini of voting age in Bougainville, never voted for a third option. What is the legal basis for anyone to suggest an option that doesn't have any democratic constitutional mandate? None. Absolutely none. Man Mary na Pikini of Bougainville were given two choices. Now this is a two-plot choice and greater autonomy, na independence. And 97.7%, when we remind him, everybody in this room, is the highest referendum vote anywhere in the world. Only vote long independence. So, Mr. Speaker, me appeal, lo yumi olgata, yumi in this house, because yumi sample or leader Man Mary blo Bougainville too. Yumi papa through lo this third option. Yumi must stop him. Me no gyaman him yupla. Stop this nonsense of third option. This is the third option by come up in dialogue, me na president na yupla. So this is serious business. Stop this nonsense of a third option. There's no legal basis long. Me also lawyer, me no argue in politics belongen. Me argue in legal side belongen. There are no legal basis for a third option. Ratification, the referendum result. Long issue, long independence. Being the referendum result. So me appeal long, email letter, Mr. Speaker, lo kirap na look sabe lo display issue. I mean no legal issue. Man Mary. Also, lo site lo mi, lo constituency lo mi. Lo time lo crisis country kirap, kilim country. Narpla barata, kilim bubu mana michiu. Sampla line join him BRA, sampla line join him resistance. We were all fractured. Mipla kilim mipla yet. Apart from fighting with the national government soldiers, we were factionalized ourselves. Mipla kilim mipla yet. But when the issue of referendum came, Man Mary lo Bougainville kirap na to. Regardless lo migat birwa, lo country blomi. Regardless lo migat birwa, lo barata blomi. Regardless lo migat birwa, lo narpla clan, no narpla pisin. Long issue long independence. Na greater autonomy, all options only give me. Me by vote long independence. So, Mr. Speaker, this vote, emi no come out lightly. Emi no kibung blo, bamito ko nem, Boy Scout or Women's Fellowship or kano sen na imikirap na vote nothing na talk. Oh, this is the result. No what? Mi apilo yumi. Long understand him. The significance long this la vote long independence. Misanap tete na mi worry, Mr. Speaker. Me no pilim also me fortunate. I'm not proud of being one of the few people who have institutional memory. Lo this la walk about blo Bougainville. Me poret. Suppose me time blow me lo this la ground in finish. How by me kiram na achieve him this la issue long independence blo Bougainville? Because all this time, Bougainville has not deviated. Long since peace agreement is signed, He come long time lo Kabui. He come lo time lo Tanis. He come lo time lo Momis. He come lo time lo Isla president. A conscious decision has been made every day that me blah by behind him one agreement Papua New Guinea na Bougainville sign. We come from a background where you make up na fight na engage in lawlessness. Na MEC lo narplaman lo no can trust me. All by to call some molanya rebel ya no na giaman signing paper na. We made a conscious decision. The leadership every year in every term only making this a conscious decision that whatever happens, maski national government cross lo imi, maski national government parsimony lo imi. Mi pla by BNM one agreement this la tupla government. So you may come stop now to tell this la time, Mr. Speaker. I may come one time this la background lo Bougainville talk. Me by continue lo honoring all commitment with tupla government making. Now, Mr. Speaker, along lo paper blo me got all talk long all consultation. I'm not too fussy on those facts. You make clear pinisipin got consultation lo Kokopo na Wabeg na Edaranu na Erakoni calling Edaranu. No member of law must be not twisty Belevi. So I don't intend to bore you with this, but it probably suffices to say, Mr. Speaker, along where we are today, and Tupla technical team, only you got technical impasse at a technical level. You know, side blomi Tupla Minister Makiba, we have met na Mitupla Minister thing of some there's a way forward. The instructions has already gone. Long technical team, but I think long make him clear lo Parliament also. Even got agreement. Also, Minister Makiba and by Karim this la walk you go inside lo Parliament. Behind him section 342. Na Tupla technical side. All kirap na try craft him this la process where Minister by Karim this la something he go inside. You go now something go pass. Now me too also Minister lo this plus side. Question me sa ask him technical team too I'm also. You mean like him new procedure lo Makiba Minister Makiba by Karim go also I'm all current process is sufficient or insufficient? We need to answer that question first before venturing into another parliamentary process where tete you play impasse long. Now, it suffices to say, Mr. Speaker, also, lo level blo mi tupla Minister Makiba, mi play no amamas lo disilaka and technical impasse number out there. So mi play thing also, tupla technical team must seriously look at the usage of the sessional orders. Lo allowing minister lo go inside, Karimol for something go inside. You may look long whether sessional order is sufficient to cater for our interest in allowing the minister to fulfill his constitutional responsibilities. You may talk lo narpla procedure now. You may go cross logiaman now or something kirap na impasse when really the options are still open for the minister. So, mission up to long, Asorim House also there is some meeting of the mind. Namelomi one time Minister Makiba and the instructions. There's already meetings on our side. Lo try and advance him use of the sessional orders. Now let him constitutional regulation here, Mr. Speaker. Let him karmapi more non-contentious issues. You may bring him CR, but CR yan by tok lo not plus something, maybe assumption of powers or something number. But in terms of the procedures, lo allowing minister lo current issue ya go inside long floor of parliament, Mr. Speaker, we have seriously looked at the sessional orders as the way to go. Mr. Assurim, everybody in this room, that discussions has started at the technical level of side blami appeal long minister, lo direct him director belonging long NCOBA, long make sure some national government team is available very soon. Lo kirab na kick him off this issue. We don't have much time, Mr. Speaker, because March now, close to by April, na big blow work stop yet. Lo kirab na giving relevant information, timely information long on national members. Mr. Speaker, I think it's also relevant long Toklo issue long sharp agreement. Before long Prime Minister one time President is signing this sharp agreement. We had a very hectic process in terms of the drawdown. Mibla Bougainville, so was Mibla like in power of lens. Mibla must give him 12 months notice. Nabiyan ni Maskat tok na melo tupla department lo luglug lo capacity na all this kind nonsense. So when the president came in, I'm talking me also Attorney General me less lo deal one time all issues. We stopped it lo 2005 time ABG start. But next house too by come by me deal it one time all this issue. You me talk autonomous na West up ability blow you mean. Lo assuming all these powers, na functions. And so we brought in the SAP agreement. Now, SAP agreement, effectively, I mean give him responsibility, lo Bougainville. And so you, Bougainville, you look long, power blow you na, if you have any policy vacuum, if you have any legislative vacuum, it is your responsibility to fill that vacuum. Now, suppose you pull up Molisla vacuum, now you legislate, now you bring him law, yet he come inside. Then you assume that power. Maski lo imikirap na blame him national government over the time. Some of these faults are at our end. Now, all the department, I'll cross through lo me. Because time you make him this explanation, we talk about, you miss blame him national government. Now, but me not can blame him national government. Me like him, you blaming me because department blow me. Slow write him or law blow Bougainville. Now all know she lo cross lo me. Because planning department now or law. Me play with him law yet. Because me not got enough lawyers. Lo draft him all this legislation. Lo assume him all these powers. Inside long Wabeg road map. Mi plan no tok ta so long time long independence. Mi plan tok tu long kirapim work long Bougainville Constitutional Commission. Mi plan tok tu lo dis lang. Na mi plan look sabe tu also. All you mean on up tok ta so long all 289 powers. Or 290 powers. He got all power too, all Stapanitlo section 289. Now all these 289 powers, these are sovereign powers. No got one province, Bougainville too, lo time we plan negotiate. Those powers were kept with the national government. Because those are the powers that make you a sovereign nation. But even lo Wabeg, we play agree also in Bougainville too. You must try to look na assume him sample of these sovereign powers. Because suppose you come up independent, you automatically assume him all these powers. And it's in the interest of the national government. At the time, Kiram na talk. You know, if you become independent, we want to make sure that you are fully versed and fully armed and know how to deal with many of these issues as an independent nation, including how to use those sovereign powers. So inside along this WABEC roadmap, Mr. Speaker, Emi got talk to lo Bougainville. Bougainville must look assuming sample of all these sovereign powers. Inside to long WABEC roadmap. And one pla activity where two pla government agree long en. Em lo kirapim Bougainville Constitutional Planning Commission. Now right in mama law belong this independent nation below Bougainville. We have commenced that activity. Honorable President, by delivering narpla statement belong en, I'm lo inform him House on where we are in terms of the work of writing that constitution for the independent nation of Bougainville. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm all this something me bringing me come so that members are clear that you may know make him something law, you may big head law national government. No got all government agree now. We blakam na implement him sample of this activity. Lo work ready long independence when that day arrives. Finally, Mr. Speaker, one pla agenda me like talk longan and also law key messaging package at the moment based on informal discussions below me to Minister Makiba, the technical team law side law Yumi has commenced work on the key messaging package. It has been there's a meeting of the minds. Also Yumi clear also Prime Minister and talk law nationwide consultation. Now law side law mi pla law Bougainville mi pla talk Prime Minister sorry. Law in no talk law you engage in MIPLA law nationwide consultation. Responsibility yeah, I'm stop long on national member. So MIPLA devise him this law key messaging package so that at the appropriate time when Minister Makiba is ready, and by talk na 2+ side or technical team, only must available. Lo kirap na give information long all workshop or want him something long all national member. Because at the end of the day, these are the people who will make the decision and deal with the ratification of referendum result. You may go talk to Man Mary long East New Britain or long Hablo member Aroreus at Ijibitari. You may go on a nationwide consultation on them all Man Mary or Batamla Parliament now vote for ratification. No one. So MIPLA maintain him this strong legal position that the responsibility is on the national members and we must do everything we can. I need lo power lo MIPLA minister. Lo make sure every national member is given the appropriate information where he can make a fully informed decision when the day finally arrives. Law conclude, Mr. Speaker. May I remind him, House, the least I can do is requote what President Toroma has said. And these are my parting remarks. Time involved long all these discussions, law consultation. President Ismail, let me talk, quote, we must never compromise our resolve for an independent Bougainville and settle for anything less than what we have voted for in the 2019 referendum. We have fought and died for independence. We made peace for independence. And we unanimously voted for independence in an internationally recognized referendum. It is our divine right, and we will have nothing less than independence for the people of Bougainville. Now, before me sit down, Mr. Speaker, we like make him clear. Also, on 2 occasions, people of Bougainville all declare him unilateral declaration of independence. This la tupla UDI never advanced because no got legal basis belongan. We decided that Mipla cross longan exit in power blo Mipla declare him independence tupla time. It served its purpose internally, but externally, you know what? Kai belongan. Mr. Speaker, me run him this independence readiness under 3+ strategy. We call it the Trident strategy. Also, me tokaste. 1 pla am long internal, we make him man marry and me ready. Long this independence where em yet been vote longan. You know, not pla money vote, not talking him. You ready, am independence will come. No. These are the same people who made that choice. And only must work ready. Man, you leader of your family, get your family prepared. You clan leader, you make him clan blow you ready. You this pastor or reverend inside of this church, you have a responsibility of independence readiness. When independence finally comes, church blow you by stopware. You this clan blow you by stopware. You family blow you by stopware. We need to have some practical relevance lo issue belong independence. Let me know something where dog pick nakakarug ba enjoy. It will not be happening up in the sky. Independence also president talk. Where you may fight long and PC come up, now you may vote long and long independence. We will live that independent life. And it is our responsibility. Under this internal prong, lo deal one time independence readiness. Second prong belongan lo domestic. This domestic prong, and me including all these consultations that has happened between Bougainville government and national government. That's the domestic prong. Lo international prong, this am long make sure some the international community are aware of these issues. Now, me make him clear also, Mr. Speaker, me no argue in case for Bougainville only on a domestic front in terms of the domestic law. I have prepared my argument to take this argument elsewhere to another level in terms of international argument. Because me believe yet that I am justified, Mr. Speaker, me justify also Minister of Long Independence. When push comes to shove, me got right to make him declaration of long independence. You no long unlawfulness na giaman, me by make him declaration of long independence because we went through a constitutionally guaranteed referendum.